Hey traders, today I want to explain a little bit about the bid-ask spread in options and why you should understand it and why it's important. So firstly, if we take a look at just SPY, the ETF, Apple and Snow stock, right? We've got very tight bid-ask spreads here. This is the amount someone's willing to buy it for. This is the amount someone's willing to sell it for. Fairly tight. Apple, you can see very, very tight, basically no spread at all. Is the bid price is the ask price, that's the midpoint. And on Snow, there's a bit of a difference. It's a bit more thinly traded, so there's about $1.50 spread. When we look at options, if we look at SPY, this is probably the most liquid instrument there is for options. You can see this is just the 1 month at the money put. There's 4 cents in difference between the bid price and the ask price. 9,500 shares traded on the day. Okay, so very, very tight spread. Apple, pretty good spreads, 735 to 755, so 20-cent spread. Then if we go out to, that's a 4-day to expiry option. If we go out longer term, this is now a 2-year option that we're looking at. Much less volume, only 134 contracts traded this day. And we've got a much bigger spread, so much less liquid. And what that means is it's just going to be harder to get filled at the midpoint because there's less activity in that particular option. And the same goes for Snow when we're looking at a 1 month sort of at the money put, only 207 contracts traded for the day and $1.50 again in the difference between the bid price and the ask price. So one little tip, if we're going to enter an order into something that's a little bit got a bit of a wide spread like this. Now, for beginners, I'd advise to stay with options that have a really tight spread because you're going to suffer less slippage, you're going to get good fills. But one little tip for you, if you want to say sell this at the money put, you put your order in. Now the midpoint's listed at 30.75. What I'll do is I'll maybe start the order at say 31. And then I'll just slowly drop it down until I get to around that midpoint at 30.75. Or what I might do is I might leave it at 31 and I might leave it sitting there for an hour or two. And maybe the stock drops a little bit and I get filled at a slightly better price than what that midpoint is showing right now. Okay, so a little bit of a tip that works pretty well. Sometimes you'll miss trades because the stock will rally and you miss out on getting filled. It never comes down to this price, but so be it. Sometimes you're going to miss opportunities. I'd rather, miss a few opportunities here and there and get in at a good price rather than trying to force something and potentially getting in at a bad price and being behind the 8 ball from the word go. Because, with something like this, if you can't get filled at 30.75 and you're trying to force the trade, maybe you get in at 30.3, you're already 45 cents down or $45 down on the trade. So, it just means you're behind the 8 ball a little bit. So that's why it's really important to take notice of bid-ask spreads and option volume and keep that in mind. And the other thing is when we get a volatility event in the market, when we get one of these flash crashes or whatever you want to call it, the spreads on pretty much everything options related widens quite significantly in some cases. So it just means not just getting into an order now. If you have to adjust a trade or get out of it later on when there's a volatility event happening, those spreads get even wider. It's harder to get a good fill at that time. So just keep that in mind as well. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions, let me know. Otherwise, talk to you soon.